this is your first Q4, then you are in for an experience. Now, I'm assuming that if you're watching this, you've started Amazon this year at some point. Now, there's going to be a bit of a difference between if you started selling on Amazon in the first half of this year and the second half. Now, the reason why I say that is because typically it's recommended that a seller gets their stuff into Amazon, like prepped, start sending it off from Q2 onwards, the end of Q2, definitely Q3. The last thing you want to do is be leaving it all last minute. This is because just like literally most of the businesses out there, Amazon gets busy in Q4. And because they get busy, this is why this year they have now introduced the holiday fee. And that's going to apply from the 1st of October through to the beginning of January. And the reasoning that Amazon is introducing this new fee is basically to help handle the busyness of Q4. So in previous Q4s, warehouse handling time has been a bit longer because obviously Amazon are getting sent so much, and therefore it can have a knock-on effect to things like fulfillment and even deliveries. So in order to help with this, they've introduced this holiday fee, and they claim that this fee will help put an end to things being so long and so much in Q4. Now, this is the first year that they've run this sort of thing specifically, and so I guess we'll just wait and see how it goes, what goes on with it. If it is a good thing, and if it does genuinely do what it is that they're claiming it will do. We'll see. At the point of recording this, we are literally around the corner from Q4. It's about to start, so we will see how this plays out. But just based on previous Q4 experiences, obviously you send your stuff into Amazon, then processing it and so forth, checking it over, sorting it in the warehouse and whatnot, that can take a bit longer, which is why it's recommended that you do get your stuff sent in prior to Q4. As I say, lots of sellers will begin this prep work around Q2 time, definitely in Q3. Some sellers even plan way ahead and will start prepping for the next Q4 in the current Q4, which, you know, kind of makes sense because there's going to be plenty of things that you are aware of at that time that are doing well. And obviously when Boxing Day and New Year's comes, there's plenty of things that go on sale. I mean, we've got Black Friday, Cyber Monday. That's not just for your customers, that can be for you as well. So obviously you'll see an increase in sales at those points, but it doesn't, you know, it means that you can take advantage of that period as well. If things are going on sale that you might then want to resell, that's great news for you. After Halloween, sales. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, sales. You know, I've even seen it in some cases where just before Christmas, in that immediate run-up, they're trying to clear stuff out before Christmas, so they are reducing lots of things. And then definitely, you know, Boxing Day, New Year's, they are super famous for sales. So plenty of opportunities to make a lot of money and also to find a lot of great things that you can resell. If it's not in the current Q4, it can be in the next Q4. Obviously, do your own due diligence, make sure you are analysing these things, checking sales charts, and you'll be on the right path. Now, just a couple of things to be aware of about Q4. Obviously, I've already covered the fact that some aspects of sending stuff to Amazon can take longer, and if you're doing FBM and you think, oh, you know, that doesn't really affect me as such, correct, but obviously you've got couriers to think about. Couriers are a lot busier when it comes to the last 3 months of the year. Sending stuff through, like the Royal Mail for instance, is something that you kind of have to plan out. Like if I'm thinking of something even as basic as Christmas cards, I've really got to plan that out and make sure that I'm sending them well in advance to ensure that they're getting there, because they do just get busier, as do all couriers. Things are flying around everywhere. Loads of businesses get a lot busier, so there's a bit more strain on couriers. And so even if you're doing FBM, you've got that to consider as well. So yeah, there's all of that stuff, obviously, and Amazon, I hate to say it, but there can be a bit of a spanner thrown in the works around Q4. It's not just Amazon, other online marketplaces end up doing these sorts of things, funnily enough, around Q4. But in previous years, just as an example, just to make sure that you are prepped and aware, last Q4, I believe it was October time, the bundling policy changed massively for the US. So US sellers, you had to be really careful about how you do things like unique bundles, because it was really kind of cracked down on, because lots of brands were concerned about the unique bundles and so forth, which I believe is the main driving reason as to why that happened. So it really condensed down what you can do as part of your bundles. Obviously existing bundles is fine, but as far as unique bundles are concerned, obviously the rules from that point onwards got a little bit stricter. So that came into play, and then also there was, and this has happened in other Q4s as well, where you might find that for some brands you end up being gated, and this can be, to be fair, it can be down to Amazon, it can be down to the brand themselves. So just keep an eye on these things, make sure you are doing your analysis prior to buying. And look out for IP stuff. Look out for eligibility. Keep an eye on that stuff. Make sure you are in Amazon Facebook groups or a Discord group, or you are in the Amazon TikTok space or Amazon YouTube space, whatever. Just make sure that you are in those circles, so that way if anything is going on, just through word of mouth, and maybe it's a TikTok video, maybe it's a post or whatever, you can be warned about certain things that may be going on, so that way you don't then fall victim to, I don't know, a brand saying, hey, no third-party sellers to sell our stuff, and they put a stop to it, and IP claims are flying around. It will save you from falling into holes like that. So just be wary of those things. I mean, last year, as an example, Amazon gated Lego and Funko Pop, and I believe other things were gated, but those were the two main things that I kept seeing. I was actually selling Funko Pop at that point, but I wasn't affected. So I don't believe it happens to everyone. I don't know how it happens, or how they decided who it's going to be gated for or whatnot. I know that for new sellers, it's more likely to happen. For people that are already ungated and selling stuff, they're less likely to have that happen to them. So this is something I wanted you to be aware of for your first Q4, particularly if you've just started Amazon now in the second half of 2025. Just be wary of things like that. People were getting gated and then being ungated again. It was seemingly for like random periods of time. Like some people were saying they were still gated, some were saying, oh, I was gated but now I'm ungated, some were ungated all the way through. There tends to be a couple of crazy things that happen, but as we have to ride through it, we have to adapt, we have to see these things not as barriers but as just bumps in the road. We have to overcome them. It doesn't matter if it's in Q4 or if it's in another quarter, we will find that there are things that we need to learn about and learn to deal with all year round. It's just a life thing, really. It doesn't matter if it's Amazon or if it's eBay, if it's working in a kitchen, if it's working in a care home. All these things will have things that you bump into where you need to just find a way to work around it, and the best thing we can do is learn from these things when they happen, so that way we know how to approach these things when they come up again in future, or maybe we avoid them altogether. It's a good idea to kind of adopt that kind of approach to it rather than being stopped. Don't let these things stop you, because the reality is, unless Amazon go, whoa, you're suspended, boom. And I mean, even with that, you can seek help and potentially get yourself unsuspended. But unless Amazon completely shut down your account for good, there is no such thing as a barrier. You can overcome most of the things that are thrown your way. So please keep that in mind. Don't let it sour anything, because really, Q4 is so worth it. It really, really, really is. If it's your first Q4, you'll find that it's a great experience, especially when it's done and you're seeing all of the fruits of your hard work over the past however many months, you can see all the fruits of that in something you can recognize: money. Lots of sellers will be flooding the social media space saying how much money they made on Amazon in Q4, and it will be amazing. It's a great opportunity. Although just be wary that obviously Q1 does dry up a little bit, especially in January and February. And to be fair, that's the case for pretty much most businesses out there, because people are spent out after Christmas. Q4's so full of spend, and obviously it makes sense. People are spent out after that point. If you've done so much spending over Christmas, why are you going to go on a massive haul in January or February? It just doesn't make any sense. So naturally, with a lot of business, they find that things do dry up a bit in Q1. But obviously, if you've had a really, really good Q4, that will help tide you over. So don't worry about it. Make sure that you dedicate a portion of your inventory to things that do well all year round, or in fact, now maybe think of finding a couple of things that do well in Q1 to help with that period of time as well, because obviously time stops for no one. We are going to be flowing right from Q4 into Q1, and there will just be a bit of a change there. Find replenishables, so things that people consistently use. Those will never let you down. So I'm talking about toothpaste, shampoo. What do you use on a daily basis, or every other day or once a week? Things that you use regularly, things that you might pick up grocery shopping maybe. If you can find things like that, even though some of them can actually make a decent amount of money, but some of them it might just be like it makes just a little bit of profit. I mean, every little helps. And to be fair, if it's a thing that people consistently need and they buy continually, then all of the sales stack up, all those little profits stack up, and you make a nice sum of money from that item. It might be like a toothbrush, a toothpaste, I don't know. But yeah, all of the best, all of the best really with Q4. It's going to be awesome. You're going to do great. I believe in you. And yeah, your first Q4 is going to be one to remember, and I've seen it be the case with most sellers. Q4s have a bit of a snowball effect, so you'll have a load of experiences in your first Q4, and then next Q4 you'll be a bit more streetwise as to what's going to happen, and maybe you'll prepare earlier, and therefore next Q4 will just be even better than this one. And lots of sellers report an upwards trajectory of how much they make over the course of however many Q4s that they do. And that's one of those things that keeps people at Amazon, keeps people at reselling. It's a great opportunity, it's a big opportunity, and you're part of it. So all the very best with Q4. You're going to smash it. Have a great day.